Get a degree in Malaysia as a civil servant and you will be upgraded among the new incentives by the Prime Minister. And in the UK, pensioners are worried that a new regulation which will force those above 60 years to have their driving license reviewed more frequently. I am Abulupatrick, the host of your #1 labor program, the Tripartite, the Worker, Employer, and Government Roundtable. Now, those are in the global update on labor stories.
Did you know? A workers' support initiative can refer to various programs and efforts aimed at improving the well-being and working conditions of employees. These initiatives can range from government-backed employment support programs to workplace support services and international efforts focused on decent work and sustainable practices. Breakdown. 1. Government-sponsored programs. Some governments offer financial assistance to private sector employers to subsidize employee salaries, particularly in areas with fewer job opportunities or for specific demographic groups like women or people with disabilities. 2. Training and skills development. Initiatives may focus on providing training and skills development programs to enhance workers' employability and adapt to changing job market demands. 3. Workplace support services and job coaching. Providing on-the-job support and guidance to help employees learn new tasks, improve performance, and adapt to workplace requirements. 4. Social and psychological support. Initiatives may address mental health and well-being by offering counseling, stress management programs, and other psychosocial support services. 5. Workplace safety and health. Ensuring a safe and healthy work environment is crucial, and initiatives may focus on implementing safety protocols, providing ergonomic assessments, and addressing workplace hazards. 6. Supportive services for vulnerable workers. Programs may offer assistance to vulnerable populations, such as people with disabilities or those facing social or economic hardship, to help them secure and maintain employment. 7. International initiatives and frameworks. The International Labour Organization, ILO, promotes a decent work agenda that emphasizes fair wages, safe working conditions, social protection, and respect for workers' rights. 8. Sustainable business practices. Initiatives may focus on promoting responsible business conduct that aligns with environmental sustainability and social inclusion. 9. Just transition. Supporting workers and communities in the transition to a more sustainable economy by providing retraining, social safety nets, and other forms of support. 10. Community-based support. Initiatives may train and support community health workers to provide essential healthcare services in underserved areas. 11. Supportive services for vulnerable populations. Community-based organizations may offer a range of services, such as food assistance, housing support, and childcare, to help vulnerable individuals and families. 12. Technology and innovation. AI and automation. Initiatives may explore how AI and automation can be leveraged to augment worker productivity and create new job opportunities, rather than leading to job displacement. 13. Distance learning and digital tools. Using technology to provide training and support to workers in remote or underserved areas. At the Tripartite, we want you to know that Workers' Support Initiative is a broad term encompassing various efforts to improve the lives and working conditions of employees, from the individual level to the global scale.
And what you just listened to is Did You Know?, our new segment we're introducing. You can be part of it. Tell us what we don't know. In that segment, Did You Know? In our Let's Talk segment for today, we have the Polytechnic Academic Staff of Nigeria issuing 21 days ultimatum for strike to the Nigerian government. What are the 14 items they are worried about? We will have that in our Let's Talk segment. And due to popular demand, we will give you back the story on the care economy. You need to know more. That is what our feedback is saying, that we need to hear and listen more to that story. We will bring you that story right away.
Did you know that by 2030, 2.3 billion people will need care? That is 200 million more than 2015. According to the International Labour Organization, ILO, the care economy encompasses economic activities related to physical, emotional, and psychological care, promoting gender-inclusive growth and recognizing the value of unpaid care work. This sector is vital for sustainable development, human well-being, and economic growth, with estimates suggesting that unpaid care work would represent 9% of global GDP if compensated. Did you also know that investing in care infrastructure can create jobs, prevent occupational downgrading, and increase the female labor force participation? According to research, a $1.3 trillion investment in social jobs like care economy could yield a $3.1 trillion GDP return and create over 10 million jobs in the US. The care economy includes both paid and unpaid care such as child care, elder care, and health care services, as well as indirect care like cooking and cleaning. At Tripartite TV, we believe governments can foster a caring economy by investing in quality care provision, social services, and social protection. This includes implementing policies like parental leave, flexible work arrangements, and affordable childcare. But is this the case?
And before we go further, let's welcome Francis to bring us up to speed with global labor stories shaping the world of work from Asia, the UK, and in Nigeria.
I'm Reverend Professor Hyacinth Ichok, the Vice Chancellor of Veritas University, Abuja. Please keep watching the Tripartite program on AIT.
My name is Muhammad Megaldi Gadi, the Minister of Labor and Employment. You are watching the Tripartite program on AIT.
Hello and welcome to this segment. I am Francis. Let's begin from South America. Now, a union-led campaign has successfully pushed the Inter-American Court of Human Rights to recognize care as autonomous human right. This historic court victory sets a new global standard on the right to care and provides a unique tool for members across the region to advance public care system and improve conditions for care workers. On top of the court win, Public Service International (PSI) member unions have successfully improved domestic care legislation across the region, including Chile's national care system, Brazil's developing care law, and Ecuador's recognition of care as a human right in national legislation. Luba Melu of the Sao Paulo Municipal Workers Union said, 3 out of 4 hours of care work in our region are done by women without remuneration. This recognition of care as a human right is a great political victory for us all that we can build from. End of quote. In Nigeria, the government has expressed readiness to strengthen the existing labor cooperation with the government of the Republic of the Philippines. The Minister of Labor and Employment, Muhammad Dinkyadi, stated this when he received the Secretary, Migrant Workers, Republic of the Philippines, Hans Kakdak, and his team on a bilateral visit to Nigeria. Dinkyadi welcomed the plan by the government of the Republic of the Philippines to set up a labor desk in Nigeria and promised the needed cooperation. The Secretary, Migrant Workers, Republic of the Philippines, Hans Kakdak, told the minister they are in Nigeria to set up a labor desk under his embassy in Nigeria to coordinate the affairs of the Filipino migrant workers in the country. Listen to this very interesting development from Malaysia. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has announced several new initiatives to strengthen the civil service, including improvements to the service scheme of the Malaysian Armed Forces, financial incentives under the Academic Recognition Awards and allocations to strengthen INTAN, the National Institute of Public Administration. The Prime Minister said the measures are in line with the government's commitment to improving the efficiency, professionalism, and welfare of civil servants at all levels, thereby ensuring that the national development agenda can be implemented more effectively. For the armed forces, a performance-based incentive scheme will be extended to those holding the ranks of sergeant and staff sergeant, with the qualifying period reduced from 6 years to 4 years, benefiting 3,789 personnel. This is the interesting part. Anwar said the government has allocated 75 billion ringgit to provide a one-off financial incentive to civil servants who complete higher education at their own expense during their service. The incentive amounts are set at 1,250 ringgit for a doctorate, 1,000 ringgit for a master's degree, 750 ringgit for a bachelor's degree, and 500 ringgit for a diploma or equivalent qualification. Let's remain in Asia. Now, the Asian labor movement has launched a new initiative to support fresh graduates through every step of their journey toward their first or second jobs. The framework is expected to provide more targeted help for students making the transition from school to work in order to address job security early on.
Analytics major Brian Lee began looking for a job before he graduated. He sent out more than 100 applications before he finally landed his first job. The whole process took 9 months. Mr. Lee says there's a gap between the skills he picked up in school compared to what companies want.
There is a very huge expectation mismatch where companies are expecting you to learn these types of tools, this repertoire of tools, which you have never been exposed to in school. And I would say that the business focus in university is really lacking, which makes candidates much less employable.
The labor movement aims to help fresh graduates like Mr. Lee while they're still in school. Firstly, students will receive advice on what jobs could suit them, and even help in writing resumes. They will also meet employers directly through interviews and networking sessions. As they progress in their careers, they will also get access to mentors as well. These could help address concerns like the skills gap, especially with greater global economic uncertainty.
Rapid changes in the nature of work. The new technologies like artificial intelligence reshaping industries, changing how the job looks like. Even as you are studying and you are going out doing your internships and your attachments, the employers, the supervisors will be explaining to you how their job and the job that they are supervising you in is changing as we speak.
Back to Nigeria. The government has launched the Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund to issue about 10 million naira zero-interest loans with a 12-month moratorium to both academic and non-academic workers in universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. There is a mixed feelings development in the UK, where the government is set to witness a major change in driving regulations that specifically impacts older motorists. From August 2025, new rules for over 60s will come into effect. In the new regulations, instead of waiting until 70, individuals turning 60 will need to renew their license every 3 years with updated medical declarations. The new regulation is expected to affect millions of drivers across England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And that's all we have for you on this segment. The Tripartite continues. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Francis.
I am Comrade Festus Osifo, President Pengasan, President TUC. You are watching Tripartite on AIT.
Welcome back. As we told you in our opening, the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, that is Asup in Nigeria, are threatening to go on strike. They've issued a 21-day ultimatum. I have the president here to tell us what are their grievances.
These issues were issues contained in our agitations over time. The issue of Polytechnic Commission has always been in the front burner. The issue of HNE dichotomy is always on the front burner. The issue of BTech is always on the front burner. Promotion areas has always been recurring. 25 and 35%, we've started agitating for these things since 2023 after the approval. In 2024, it was only our union that declared strike before it was implemented in 2024. And we continued our agitation for the release of the arrears since last year. These issues are not new to government. They are not new to the Ministry of Education. They are not new to MBT. They are not new to Ministry of Labor, because we have sat with them and discussed on these issues, not once, not twice, not thrice. What are the critical issues that require urgent attention? All of them. But we are very strategic. The first issue that is of great importance is that, they are categorized into two. There are sectorial issues, there are welfare issues. Issues that affect the survival of the sector are very germane to us. And one of that issue is the issue of outsourcing of accreditation to contractors, so that you get what has happened very well. The MBT told us that the Federal Ministry of Education has given a permission to outsource accreditation. MBT by its mandate is supposed to conduct accreditation, just like NCC do for College of Education, NEC do for university. And we called the attention of MBT that how can you give accreditation of programs to contractors? What are you turning our sector into? Where are you taking why do you want to throw away the standard of our sector and the integrity of our sector? We highlighted and gave them our reasons for objecting. They convened a meeting. We met with rectors, we met with other unions. Our position was upheld. But we discovered that they still continue with it, to the extent of even engaging 12 contractors to do accreditation, quality control. We took our time. we analyzed all these companies. We got the record of all these companies because in their program or their guideline, they said for you to be engaged for accreditation, you must have 5 years experience in accreditation. We asked them, where will you get that company? Because universities, it is NUC that do accreditation. College of Education is NCCE. Polytechnic is MBT. There is no company in Nigeria that's ever doing accreditation. So if you're asking for priority, the first thing is our total rejection to outsourcing of accreditation, because that is the life of our sector. The second is the issue of circular for relief for the payment of peculiar academic allowance. Like we said, it is not in this year's budget, and because of that, budget cannot capture it. So what we are saying is, release the circular so that by next year budget, by September, budget template will come out, and they will send budget template to our institutions. For example, the budget template sent last year for this year, there is no provision for 7%. That's why it's not captured. If for next year it's sent, there's no provision for 7%. That means it will be captured next year. And now we are not in IPPIS. IPPIS, we are looking for money from outside to pay. Now the salary is paid from our school. Where will our school management get money to pay that 7%? It is on record that our union declared an industrial action last year, December. We gave an ultimatum for 15 days. At the expiration of the ultimatum, we declared a strike of 15-day strike, warning strike. The Federal Ministry of Labour invited our union for a conciliation with Federal Ministry of Education. And in the items resolved in our conciliation meeting that was signed by Federal Ministry of Labour, Federal Ministry of Education, and our union, one of the items is clearly the non-implementation of this minimum wage in state polytechnics. In some states, chapters of our union declared strike just last 3 months over non-implementation of minimum wage. We have outstanding promotion arrears. Some of our members have been promoted since 2019. They have not been paid their arrears. Some of them 2020. In some institutions, there are arrears, 4 or 5 years arrears of promotion. What we have in the Polytechnic is called the National Board for Technical Education. At the moment, the National Board, that board is overseeing over 900 institutions. The majority of them, they are below their level is that of primary school. There are skills acquisition certificate. Some can be categorized as primary school with primary certificate. Some are sub-tertiary, like the technical colleges. It's a jumble of unrelated skills, educational acquisition training. Our union have been insisting since over 15 years ago for the establishment of Polytechnic Commission. Over the years, the bill, if we get a prime member to send the bill to National Assembly, after first reading, the time of that assembly will elapse, that bill will die. We come to another time. But we're happy this time that we have a member that we contacted, he sponsored the bill at the Federal House of Representatives. The bill has gone through first reading, second reading, and even public hearing. But the Ministry of Education has told us to our face that that bill is dead on arrival.
I hope you had a swell time on this episode of the program. We would like you to get back to us on our feedback channels as displayed. we would like to partner with you and we would like you to sponsor a segment of this program, or you have a new segment on the program. Thank you for investing your time with us, and don't forget, at the Tripartite, workers' lives matter, employers' business matter, government policies matter, pensioners' welfare matter, eliminating child labor matter to us here. I am Abulu Osemwahu. Let's do this again.